got a question for you. Do you think firearm safety classes should be taught in schools? Specifically here in Michigan is what we asking. Then we also talking about music. Did you listen to Chris Brown's latest album? Did you listen to Kodak Black's latest album? What you think about it? Also, did you watch this Milli Vanilli documentary? And a movie called Hypnotic. We're gonna talk about all that and sports that's coming up. You kicking it with KC, baby. Let's go. Yeah, man, starting off with popular topics, pop tops that may or may not be talked about in the news. George Truly, KCMC. I'm here to shed light on it. We only talking about this one topic, man. Should firearm safety classes be taught in schools? It's coming from clickondetroit.com. Senator John Bumstead introduced legislation allowing firearm safety to be taught in Michigan schools as an option as part of its physical education curriculum. The legislation, which was introduced Thursday, November 9th, was drafted with support from the Michigan Department of Education and the Michigan Department of Natural Resources. The legislation would not mandate schools to teach the course, but would allow it to be offered as part of an existing class or optional extracurricular course. Students would complete the curriculum will also receive a hunter safety education credit. The legislation, Senate Bill 644, would require firearm safety classes to be taught by certified hunter education instructors. Students would be learning the proper usage, handling, safety cleaning, and maintenance of different firearms and safety hunting practices. But we do want to let you know real firearms or ammunition would not be allowed into schools as part of the instruction, by the way. So that's what we get from that article and from that bill being introduced into legislation. It's not a law in Michigan. It's just been introduced. And it seems like the Michigan Department of Education and Michigan Department of Natural Resources are actually supporting this bill. Students learning about firearm safety in school. Is it necessary? Absolutely. I would say it's necessary. Firearms is a big part of our lives. It's the American culture. You are able to have a firearm at the age of 18. Why not learn about the safety of it leading up to then? In schools, I 100% agree with it. They're not requiring it, by the way, and they said they're not allowing real firearms in the schools, which makes sense. I feel like it's going to be hard to really learn about real firearm safety and cleaning it and everything if you don't have a real firearm, but nonetheless, I think it's important. These are the type of things they should learn, along with finances, taxes, home ownership, real estate, all the things, stocks, all the things that really affect the economy. They should learn about that in schools. And just affect life overall, the things that are in the news. So yes, I agree with this. Firearm safety should be taught in classes. I would go as far as to say there should be a real gun in there, but it should be a lot of supervision also. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show. 313-466-4386. This is going to be a real quick show, but I got something else to talk about. Music, baby. And the audio audit, we're going to talk about it. A couple different albums that I listened to. This first one, Kodak Black. Listen to my man's Kodak Black. He got a project called When I Was Dead. Listen to this on YouTube Music. No endorsement, by the way. This was, 51 minutes, 18 tracks. Just outside the project duration that I like, between 30 and 45 minutes. If it's less than 30, I don't take it serious. If it's more than 45, I usually get bored. And you do too. But out of 18 tracks, 51 minutes, a little bit longer than I anticipated. It's about 4 songs that stood out to me. The rest of them just kind of sounded like the same. Kylie Grande, which was the first song on it, which I believe was about Kylie Jenner and Ariana Grande. I don't know. I didn't really listen to it deep enough to really care about what he had to say about them. But it was a nice song. Kylie Grande, the first song on the project. Then we had Burning Rubber, which is dope. Let Me See was probably the nicest song on this project. Let Me See. That went hard. Pause. I had to say that. And then the song right after that was called Tusi. That was decent. That was decent. But at least 4 out of 18 songs stood out to me. We shooting less than 25%. Maybe about 20%. I think it's even less than that. No, it's more than 20. It's between 20 and 25% of the songs that stood out to me as opposed to what's on the project. It's decent. I guess I would recommend it, but it's not his best project. But I don't know if I really listen to a whole Kodak Black project in its entirety. But other than that, let me know what you think. Kodak Black, When I Was Dead, 18 tracks, 51 minutes. It was alright to me. It was alright. Not too much replay value. That Let Me See track was hard though. I will replay that. But go off in the live chat, in the comments, call into the show, 313-466-4386. Another project that I listened to. We did switch it up to the R&B side. My man's Chris Brown. He dropped another project called 1111. Dropped this on 11/11, which was Saturday, yesterday. 22 tracks, an hour, 8 minutes. Now, I believe this is supposed to be 11 tracks. With it being dropped on 11/11, and I believe he said that. But this was double the tracks. So I don't know if I would listen to some type of double deluxe album. But this is on YouTube Music, no endorsement. 22 tracks, hour, 8 minutes. Now, currently on the project, he has a song that is a single, Summer Too High. Summer Too High. That song right there is dope. It's dope too. I ain't gonna lie. But that's the only single. It is a dope song, so we'll give it that. A couple other songs that stood out to me: Messed Up, Need a Friend, Red Flags, Views. And I feel like I was being generous by writing those down. They did stand out to me, but the rest of the songs, to me, it's just like Chris Brown is just making songs at this point in his career. He's just shooting, he's just making a whole bunch, just producing. I think it's more about quantity than quality with Chris Brown at this point. I feel like he's proud of putting out more than 10,000 or recording 10,000 or maybe even 100,000 songs. Whatever the case. I feel like he's proud of that, which I feel like it's cool, I get it. But a lot of it just sounds the same. It sounds like you just like put on the beat and just going. Like you're not putting no real effort and creativity behind a lot of these songs. If you ask me, some of it he had a different little island vibes to it, African vibes to it, the tribal vibes where he, you know what I'm saying? I get it. Cool. Different cultural, worldwide thing. That's what we're going for. Okay, I get it. But we all aren't experiencing that whole cultural vibe thing here in the States. Like, which is where your main audience is from, if you ask me. Yeah, you're getting worldwide money, but I don't know. That to me, and I've been listening to Chris Brown since the beginning, if we want to keep it 1,000. And a lot of his music be average. He'll have like 2 or 3 hits on his project. But a lot of his stuff be average. And I almost consider myself a Chris Brown fan. I'm gonna be 1,000. Never paid for a Chris Brown a tour or concert yet. Not to say that I won't. Probably will before my lifetime is over. But that's all I had to say about Chris Brown, man. In this project, 11/11, it was decent. But I feel like it's a numbers game with him more than a quality game. But let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show, 313-466-4386. 22 tracks, an hour, 8 minutes. Way longer than what I feel like I really want to listen. The average listener wants to listen to. You cut that down to half, you talking about what? 34 minutes, 11 tracks? And if we can get about 5 good tracks out of that 11, you talking about a real solid project. That's just me personally. But anyway, let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show, 313-466-4386. That was it with music. We talk about Kodak Black. Did we talk about Kodak Black? I think I did. Yeah, we talk about Kodak Black. I'm tripping. I like Kodak Black. That was a straight project. That Let Me See was hard. But let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat and comments. We about to switch it up. I want to talk about a couple movies that we saw recently and scenes I saw. Corn Stream. Know what I mean? Oh my God. This first one was a documentary. Milli Vanilli. Watch this on Paramount Plus. No endorsement. This was an hour 46 minutes long. The story of Robert Pilatus and Fabrice Morvan, featuring interviews from the real singer, singers, record executives, the producer mastermind behind the deception, and exclusive interviews from Rob and Fab. This was a great piece. Now, me being born in 1989 and their fame hitting around 1989, like, and maybe a little bit earlier around then, like, I don't know anything about them. By the time I was of adolescence, toddler age, and really understanding social life and communication, they were a punchline. On In Living Color, on Arsenio Hall, they were just a punchline. So, like, throughout my entire life, I just knew Milli Vanilli were a group that was just lip singing, and they were exposed, and everybody just talked mess about them. But watching this documentary, getting their perspective, changed my thought about them. I don't even feel the same way about them as a group as I did before. I feel like more attention should be aimed at the record industry, the music industry as a whole, the label, the producer, all of that. But them as a group, I don't necessarily feel bad until they got to the part where Milli Vanilli was just talking trash and just saying that they were better than the Beatles and all these artists that write their own songs, sing their own songs, and play instruments. When they got to talking trash like that, I say, okay, y'all doing too much. If they remained low key and had this humiliation about what could potentially happen and just carried that and just went with the system, I'd have been like, all right, all respect to them. Because a lot of artists nowadays are pretty much doing the same thing. They just aren't as exposed. And if they do get exposed, a lot of people are like, so what? That's just the world we live in nowadays. But I don't feel bad. I mean, I don't blame them for what they did. I feel like a lot of people would. And that is a lot of artists nowadays anyway. They just market them better. The producer, this Frank guy, whatever his name was, Frank, he did this with Bonnie M, Milli Vanilli, a group right after them called The Real Milli Vanilli, which were the rappers and the voices and the singers behind this actual group. Like, that producer, he should feel a certain type of way. I don't even want to say he should be ousted because he didn't do anything illegal. But this whole concept behind this documentary says that he exposed black artists and just like used them. Which at the end, I do want to kind of speak and say the common denominator is him and producers like him and black artists being taken advantage of. At some point, we have to adjust and adapt and learn from other people's mistakes and our own and be like, we should be reading these contracts, historically speaking. Like, yeah, they get most of us in predictions where, in situations where we're desperate situations where we need the money. We'll do anything for the money. Only to find out we end up being in debt, spending the money, using all this fame, but we end up owing somebody a fortune. I'm saying that as black artists and creators or people of color by any man. So that's what I learned from this. We have to learn from each other's mistakes at some point and continue to move forward and evolve and take the next step. But they didn't know they were young artists. They had a chance to be superstars and really do minimal work and make more money than they would on the streets. Rest in peace to Rob Pilatus, who did end up dying as a result of everything that happened. But man, great, wonderful piece of work this documentary was. Shout out to Fabrice Morvan, who was able to tell his story, end up becoming an actual recording artist, and end up learning how to sing and then touring for Milli Vanilli. Shout out to him, man. Fantabulous story. Great story. I just have to say that from my perspective, man. But if you did watch it, let me know what you think. I highly recommend everybody check that out, especially if you're an artist. Go off in the live chat in the comments if you did see it, or call into the show 313-466-4386. Then moving forward to another project or movie that we did watch recently. This was called Hypnotic. We watched this on Peacock. No endorsement, by the way. This was about an hour 33 minutes long. Thriller, mystery, starring Ben Affleck. It was determined to find his missing daughter. Detective Danny Rourke finds himself spiraling down a rabbit hole while investigating a series of reality-bending crimes. Aided by Diana Cruz, a gifted psychic, work simultaneously pursues and is pursued by a lethal specter, the one man he believes holds the key to finding the girl. It was, I'll say the first half I kept up with, the second half was very confusing. But I will give them credit. At the end of the movie, they explained it all and made a lot of dots connect. But the middle half, towards the end, that and like the last 10%, I didn't get. I mean, up to the last 10%, I didn't get it all. It was very confusing, but they made sense. So basically, it was a detective. He started off trying to look for his daughter. Turns out he's been hypnotized. He's part of this government agency of hypnotics, not hypnosis. People who can do like hypnotize you, but hypnotics. They go into a different subconscious of your brain and really take control of you based off sound, visual, and some other sense. But they control you based off certain things and just say things and make you do things that are out of your power. Nonetheless, it was a decent movie. I ain't gonna say a great movie. It was a decent movie, and I like how they explained everything at the end. But at certain points, I got lost at. Maybe it's my simple mind, but I didn't like that part that I got lost at. But I like this as a movie overall. I would recommend it. Hypnotic. Saw this on Peacock. It's only an hour and a half starring Ben Affleck. It was decent to me. Maybe like a 6 or 7 out of 10. Maybe a 7 out of 10. But let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show. 313-466-4386. We're going to switch it up real soon, but we're going to play an ad and we're going to get back at you. You kicking it with KC.
So your loved one just died, and all you can do is cry. We're so sorry about your loss. But what about casket costs? They had no life insurance and didn't leave a will. And now you're stuck with a funeral bill. Try Frugal Funeral Homes. We even bury pets too. If multiple family members died, try our 2-for-1 special. Frugal Funeral Homes, where the hole is already dug in. So when your family kicks the bucket, we bury for your budget. So your loved one just died, and all you can do is cry. We're so sorry about your loss. But what about casket costs? They had no life insurance and didn't leave a will. And now you're stuck with a funeral bill. Try Frugal Funeral Homes. We even bury pets too. If multiple family members died, try our 2-for-1 special. Frugal Funeral Homes, where the hole is already dug in. So when your family kicks the bucket, we bury for your budget. So your loved one just died, and all you can do is cry. We're so sorry about your loss. But what about casket costs? They had no life insurance and didn't leave a will. And now you're stuck with a funeral bill. Try Frugal Funeral Homes. We even bury pets too. If multiple family members died, try our 2-for-1 special. Frugal Funeral Homes, where the hole is already dug in. So when your family kicks the bucket, we bury for your budget.
No dead air, no dead air, no dead air. Let's get into it. Let's talk about sports, baby. From the stands of a sports fan, my man Pots and Pans. Let's get into it. All right, so we want to start off with the NFL. We ain't got no NBA talk to do right now. So we in week 10 of the NFL right now. Only watched a few games, right? Saints versus Vikings, first and foremost. Saints were in Minnesota. They ended up taking the L 19-27. It was a close game until the Saints quarterback Derek Carr got injured. I forgot what quarter he got injured, but he got injured, and the backup quarter is Jameis Winston. So this man he has a significant number of interceptions throughout his career, I will say. So he got into the game. He threw a crazy touchdown pass first and foremost. I forgot what receiver it was. Straight to the corner. It was like a less than 11% chance that it was probable that it would get caught. And he threw it. This was according to the little Amazon stats. but my man's caught it. It was a crazy pass. I wouldn't have threw that. But then he also threw an interception the same game. So it was a tipped interception, but that's what you get for throwing the ball too high. Nonetheless, there's a lot of drop passes in this game, but it was a lot of it was a pretty decent game. But when Derek Carr got injured, it was pretty much over for the Saints, and they took the L today. So shout out to I can't even say Kirk Cousins, because Kirk Cousins, he was injured earlier in the season. So they had Jason Dobbs, and he was in there looking like a superstar. Jason Dobbs, the rocket scientist, so shout out to him for getting another dub this season. The Lions won pride, got another dub, moved to 7-2, 41-38 in LA at SoFi Field against the Chargers. Cornerback Kirby Joseph, he got an interception against Justin Herbert in the first quarter. Significant. It was Justin Herbert's first in like 12 games or something like that within the first half. David Montgomery had a 75-yard touchdown in the second quarter for the Lions. Shout out to One Pride. It was a good competitive back and forth game. I will say Keenan Allen was a threat, like I knew. He got a touchdown with less than 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, which made it a tie. But then the Lions got the ball back, held the ball, and just ran the ball, burnt the clock, kicked the ball for a field goal with no time left. It was just a slow death for the Chargers. As a Lions fan, I've been in that position before. Watching somebody hold the ball, burn the clock, and we just lose with nothing, no control. I've been in that situation before. So to be on the other side, it felt great. It felt great, man. Shout out to my Lions. But we only 1-0 in our division right now. So we got some more games to win. Now it is great to see us win games and be 7-2. But it really matters when we win games within our division. I believe the Minnesota Vikings have officially, they are 2-0 in our division right now. The NFC North, if I'm not mistaken. So we got to win more. I believe for the rest of the season, the Lions has to face the Bears twice, the Vikings twice, and Green Bay Packers at least one more time. All teams within our division. So these are the key games we really need to be worried and looking out for. So we finished the Chargers. We play the Bears next on the 19th. Then we play Green Bay on Thanksgiving. Then the Saints. Then we play the Bears, the Broncos, Vikings, Cowboys, Vikings to end the season. Now, I think that's a little bit tricky, playing the same team back-to-back damn near, or playing the same thing within a few weeks like that. Because if the situation changes, that other team could get their lick back. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Those are going to be some real tests that we need. Other than that, we not playing no real threats this year. Other than the Chiefs to start off the season, the Ravens, and the Cowboys. Cowboys are decent. I don't even want to call them a threat, but we usually have problems with the Cowboys. So we need to get rid of them. We need to do our thing with the Minnesota Vikings. I don't see the Bears as a threat, but I don't want to just write them off either. So I just had to say that about the Lions. We 7-2. It's nice. We have good momentum this season. But we can still slip out of a playoff slot if we don't do good against teams in our division. So I just wanted to point that out. It matters. But let me know what you think off in the live chat, in the comments. Call into the show, 313-466-4386. Last thing, man, Sunday night football currently going on right now. The Raiders are playing the Jets. The Raiders are hosting the Jets right now. I'm trying to get a score. 9-6. All field goals. 9-6 right now. Not an entertaining game by any stretch of the imagination, if we're being quite honest. 9-6. Third quarter just started as of right now. How do I think this game is going to end? Let me see. 9-6 with the Jets having the lead. The Jets quarterback, I forgot his name. And the Raiders quarterback, I forgot his name. Who cares? I see it being a low-scoring game. No more than 20-something, 30-something, between the 20s and 30s. I don't even see it hitting more than 25 at this point. They're just kicking field goals. So I don't even know. I don't have no predictions for this game. Nobody cares. The Raiders and the Jets, neither one of them are Super Bowl contenders. Shout out to the Raiders for having a black interim coach for the time being. Other than that, the Jets got a Muslim coach. Other than that, I don't expect much from this game, if I'm being honest. A couple other games happened in the NFL. At this point, do I really care? No. It's about the ones that I watch. So the Lions are doing great. I care about them a lot. Other than that, I did just so happen to watch the Saints and the Vikings. It was a pretty decent game. Other than that, let me know what you think about Week 10 as a whole. Pause. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show 313-466-4386. I do want to talk about college football, though. See, we didn't let it go. I do want to talk about that because that just happened recently, too. So, number 1, Georgia. They beat Ole Miss, number 13, 52-17. As expected, continue to roll on, now 10-0 in the season. So this is Week 10. All the undefeated teams, top 4 teams is what we're talking about. Number 2, Michigan. Decent game against Penn State, ranked number 10. 24-15, Michigan gets the win. It was a good game into the fourth quarter. Michigan was up by 8. Then Penn had possession with 4 minutes left. So it got dangerous. So Penn went for it on 4th down in their territory and then got stopped. I think that was very dumb for them to go for it. Very stupid for them to go for it. As a matter of fact, Penn State fired their offensive coordinator the next day because of that. I believe it was because of that. Michigan immediately scored and went up by 2 possessions. Immediately scored after that. That was dumb. So they fired their offensive coordinator. I get it. So the whole theme of the game was Michigan versus everybody. And because of Coach Jim Harbaugh was not available this game, he was suspended due to a hearing he has to have with a Washington County judge in regards to his alleged in-season scandal or scouting, whatever the case may be, or an sign stealing. Who cares? Until he gets an official hearing from the judge, he's not going to be coaching. So they had a black interim coach, Sharon Moore, as the coach for this game. Very interesting. As soon as the game was over, the reporter interviewed him. You know, you can see him crying or being emotional a little bit, but he had his head down, the hat covering him. Camera pans over to him to get his reaction, and she hands him the mic. He just gets to crying and say, "I love you, Coach Jim Harbaugh. This one's for you." Gets to cussing, saying all types of crazy stuff. It was very, very entertaining. Why is this goofy black dude crying and dedicating his life to this white man and this team that don't really, you see what I'm saying? But I love it. I consider myself a Michigan fan. I'll say that, and a Michigan State fan, but more definitely an Eastern Michigan. But nonetheless, it was entertaining to see. I like that, man. I like that, man. So Michigan gets another win, moves to 10-0 against a top 10 rated team. But nobody expected Penn State to really win, I don't believe. They play Maryland next, if I'm not mistaken, Michigan. But the real test is against Ohio State, who's ranked number 3, by the way. They did get the win against Michigan State, who needs to throw their entire season in the garbage. 38-3. Michigan State only scored a field goal. They were in the horseshoe, by the way. They were in Columbus, Ohio. So I really wasn't expected for them to win. But, yeah, they just look horrible. They look horrible, Michigan State. So, Florida State, number 4, by the way, they did get a win. I did watch this game. They played Miami, but Florida State did not get upset. It was 27-20. They got the win. Miami's starting quarterback was injured in the 4th quarter, so it was dangerous. On a last opportunity, Miami backup quarter was under pressure. Then he threw an interception. Ended the game. That was pretty much it. That's all she wrote. It was interesting up until then. Miami had a little chance, but then they blew it. So, shout out to Florida State getting that win. Ranked number 4. Top 4 teams all get their dubs. All move up to 10-0. Do want to step outside the top 4 and talk about Washington real quick. They play Utah, who's ranked number 18. Washington and their quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., step up to the game, to the plate. 35-28. It was a back and forth competitive game until Penix Jr. threw some good passes to the number one wide receiver, Rome Odunze. That boy was catching some passes that day. It was a crazy, like they were connecting paws, like Wi-Fi. Utah had possession with less than a minute and quarterback was under pressure. And then once again, ended the game with an interception. It's crazy how those games be ending. Just under pressure, you just decide to throw it up. I get it. You want to try to make some type of play. But other than that, it just looked bad. It looked bad, man. But Washington and Michael Penix Jr., who I believe is under Heisman watch, got the win. Number 5, they're ready for one of them in the top 4 to slip. Take a dub. And then Washington might slide up to number 4. They might slide up to number 4. We're going to see how that goes. Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show. 313-466-4386. Want to talk about Colorado. Colorado and Buffaloes, man. Coach Prime. They took another L. 4th straight loss. They lost to Arizona 31-34. Now, from what I didn't watch this game, but the highlights I saw, it was a back and forth game. It looked very competitive. Arizona won with a game-winning field goal. They won a game-winning field goal. They celebrated like they won a national championship. Nah, I get it. You just celebrate because you won, but it seemed like it was successful. Now, here's the thing. Michelangelo, you can clip this. Coach Prime and Colorado are going to be under the microscope. Because of who Coach Prime is, because of the fact that he's out here selling sunglasses, gloating, and the media is blowing up whenever another opposing coach or player is talking mess about them. It's going to get, everybody wants to beat you. Some people say you need to be humble. Some people say these last 4 games that you lost should be humbling. It's necessary. You aren't seeing any celebrities on the sideline anymore. Lil Wayne ain't bringing y'all out. The Rock ain't on the sideline no more. Like, nobody's really proud to show up or making time to show up to the games anymore. Does Coach Prime need to be humble? Is this a humbling experience? I say no, he does not need to be humble. I don't like that word humble, because that basically means demeaning yourself, bring yourself down a lower level, and I don't like that necessarily. Now, maybe have some humility behind yourself, some of those losses, you know what I'm saying? Like, be a little bit more down to earth. I get it. Does Shedeur Sanders need to be the backup quarterback? I think it should be considered. I don't know who their backup quarterback is, but it's about time we see what they can do. Because Shedeur impressed us all with that first win against TCU and upset, and also getting all between 450 yards, passing yards. It was incredible. But he has not shown us that same thing since then. Maybe gotten a little bit close in another win, but he has not shown us that same effort. I'm starting to think maybe he should come off the bench. That's just what I think. But Colorado takes another L. Is this necessary for Coach Prime? Does he need this to be humble? I say no, but it is what it is at this point. Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show, 313-466-4386. I don't think I got too much more to talk about. I do want to touch on college basketball since the season started. We're into the serious part of the season, but we'll talk about it. Michigan State, they get the win, 99 against Wright State. They had 55, 99-55. That's kind of crazy to me. But also Michigan men's basketball, they get the dub too, 92-62 against Youngstown State. So, you know, a couple dubs against the for the Michigan teams, I should say. Do want to give an update on Eastern Michigan, by the way. Eastern Michigan men's basketball get the dub against Georgia Southern, 70-60. Shout out to my cousin Prakash, my other cousin on there. I forgot his name. I just found out he was my cousin. That's why I forgot. But they showing out for Eastern Michigan, man. Right now, I just wanted to say that, man. So Eastern Michigan 1-1 in the season, 70-60. The next game they play is against Florida Atlantic, who's ranked number 10 right now. And that's on Tuesday. We do a show that day. So we'll see how that is. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I don't want to talk about this boxing match right here. It ain't really too much to talk about. So we're going to pretty much get up out of here and end the show if you don't mind. But before we do that, I need you to do me a favor and hit me up on all social medias at KIWKCMC. That's Kick It with KCMC. Just the abbreviations on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at KIWKCMC. And show some love to my sponsor, by the way, man. You got your phone out, you got this far, do that. Follow them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Team Elite 313. Team Elite, my sponsor, shout them out. They at TEAMELITE 313 on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and check out their premium urban-based athleisure wear, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, tech fleece, jogger sets, varsity sets, and more. It's all on their website, teamelite313.com. Ask your mom, use that code KIWKCMC for that discount. You feel me? Thank you, man, for kicking with KC on this Sunday night. We getting into that routine Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. So I'm gonna see you Tuesday evening. If you got this far, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the alert so you know we going live. Tell a friend and tell a friend. So that means hit that share button. That's all for the free ski. If you want to show out, show some love, donate to the show so we can grow. Cash App right here. We appreciate that. Other than that, we'll see you again on Tuesday. Stream my singles, Juice and Hands and Knees. It's all in the description. The description and the links. So everything is in my description. I should say also, man.